How's it, beautiful honeys, and welcome back to my service space. If you're seeing this space for the very first time, I'm Inathi Mbulawa. If this is not your first time, thank you for the love and the support. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't. It is absolutely free. Otherwise, thank you for the love. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing these videos. I really do much appreciate it. So for this video, I decided to just reflect on the past 3 weeks since lockdown, just to share with you my views and my thoughts, share with you how I've been coping, that's if I'm coping, and what I have been up to. Otherwise, I hope you're going to enjoy this video. God bless you and take care. So where do I start? Let me start a week before the lockdown was announced. I remember I was chatting to one of my friends and I was telling them, oh well, actual fact, he was asking me how I was. So I was just sharing with him, well, you know what, I'm not okay, I'm not coping and stuff. So for those who follow me know that in January I lost my grandmother and it hit really hard and stuff. And so what happened is that after the funeral I had to go back to work and I hadn't had time to actually sit down and process everything. So I went to work, back to work. It got a bit busy and everything, and then a month later I lost my aunt. That's my grandmother's first daughter, first child and everything. So for me it was just too much, and I felt like, you know what, I am not coping. In actual fact, I'm actually drowning to say the least. It's as if, you know, that feeling where you are drowning, there are people but they can't see you. It's like uphethwe yinachman. I think that's the best definition. You know, when you've got a nachman, I don't know what you call it. You call it a nightmare, but it's a nachman, where something just chokes you and it's like it's sitting on top of you and you're trying to scream and everything, but then nothing comes out, no sound comes out and everything, and you're really struggling. So it was like that for me, because I felt like, you know what, I'm really not coping and I just need a break. I remember telling him, you know what, I need a break. So for him, he was like, you know, you need time to just really sit down and just unwind and deal with the whole loss and everything and try to heal, because I feel like I didn't really have time to actually heal, because it was the funeral, then straight I went back to work. So I remember my supervisor calling me and asking me how I was, and I was telling him, I'm not fine. And I think I'm one person who doesn't admit when she's not fine, but then when I do admit, just know that kudim, commander, kudu, like I've reached my breaking point if I do confess that I'm not fine. So I remember telling him that I'm not fine, and his response was, no, you know what, you're a strong lady, you will pull through and everything. And I was like, in my head, I am tired of people telling me that I'm strong and everything, because now I'm not strong. I just need a break. And then, Lord, did he hear my prayers? Because a week later the president declared a national shutdown. For me, honestly, I didn't think about anything else. I just thought about me, and I was like, thank you, Lord, for hearing my cry and for answering my prayers. This is the break that I need, even though it's not a holiday, you have to work from home. So for me, it was a break that I've been longing for, because I felt like, you know what, at any point, when I was still at work, at any point I was just gonna break, like break. And it was so frustrating, because I felt like, guys, can't you see me, that I'm dying here and everything? But then I had to push work. But anywho, so I remember, I think it was the 15th of March when the president addressed the nation. I think it was for the first time since the COVID hit South Africa. So he was just giving precautionary measures on what we need to do in order to try and contain this virus. And one of them was to suspend or cancel all gatherings that had 100+ guests and everything. So the church, my church, had taken the decision to just suspend all church gatherings until further notice. And you know, people had different views and opinions based on the decision that was made by the church and everything. Others were frustrated, which is really understandable, because you know, you know, for some people, especially those who live alone, going to church on Sabbath, it's that whole fellowship which adds there. So sanyana with Sabbath and everything. Fellowship, it just makes the Sabbath so beautiful. You get to meet people you saw last Sabbath and everything, where you get to share with each other zonki burdens and everything, as a veg and everything, where you get to fellowship, worship God together, study the Bible together, and just draw strength from other brethren and everything. So for them, the fellowship was being taken away from them. So I kind of like understood that. And also, I mean, guys, like congregational singing, the worship service and everything. I come from a vocally wounded family, so I kind of like miss the whole congregational singing and the beautiful singing at church, because sana apa I bobi, it is so hard and everything. So I kind of like understood the frustrations that came, that people actually had and everything. So for me, I was like okay with it. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll be spending Sabbath at home and everything. And also so the first Sabbath I spent at home, okay, my mom gave me the task to actually conduct the service and everything. So wake up in the morning, everyone took a bath and everything. So while they were busy preparing, I actually sat, I was like, and then I prayed to God. I was like, okay, I need to do what do you want me to say to your children? Because on Friday, I will not lie, I did not prepare and everything. I just assumed, okay, we're just going to do the PowerPoint lesson for the kids so that we can all understand it. I do not want us to do the adult lesson as with Daniel and stuff, and then the young ones are like, what are you talking about? So so we gathered at the table and everything, and one of the beautiful things was that my cousins, which are guys, actually joined us for worship. And why I say it was a beautiful thing for me. So in my family, somehow there's this trend that guys, when they reach a certain age, whatever, they kind of like outgrow church and everything. So it has become like something normal, to a point that it's only ladies who wake up on Sabbath and actually go to church and everything. So now, for the very first time in a very long time, the guys actually joined us for worship service. And it's not like they were forced or anything, they came voluntarily. And it was so beautiful, guys. And not only that, because I remember what I did, I was like, okay guys, it's going to be a study, so I need everyone to bring their pens and papers. We're just going to do it's going to be a season of prayer, because I felt like, you know what, as the family, we started the year on a very bad note. Actually not bad note, on a very sad note, losing our grandmother in January. February, we lost our aunt. So I was like, you know what, this is the time where we really need to invite God, re-invite God in our lives and everything, because I felt like we had grown distant. Okay, I don't know about them, but I know I have grown distant, in a sense that my way, I think it was my way of dealing with the loss and everything, was to distance myself. So I'd wake up, go to work, come back, sleep and everything. That's it. I didn't talk to anyone. And I felt like people were just minding their own business. It's hello, hi and everything when we bump into each other, but then that's it. People were just minding their own business. And I felt like home was becoming a commune kind of vibe. It's like we are just housemates and everything. So for me, it was very important to just ask God to visit our home and everything, and to pour out his peace, his love and his unity, and also most importantly to heal us as the family. So we had a prayer session where we kind of like everyone shared their personal testimonies of who God is in their lives. I felt like it was very important, as much as this year was just not going great for us and everything. So it was important to remind ourselves of who God is, regardless of what we are going through and everything, regardless of all the challenges that we are facing at the family. God still remains God. He still remains good. He still remains faithful. He still remains loving. All the challenges that we are faced with and everything, all the pain that we had to go through as the family, does not nullify God's love and his faithfulness towards us. So it was very important for us to remind ourselves of who God is. So we had a session where we also shared prayer requests, where we went into groups, into pairs and everything, and we shared each other's testimony. And that also for me, it was too beautiful, because as much as we hear, we as a family, it's kind of like hard to actually share with a family member, or go to, I'm going through something, I really need prayers, and then usually you share it with a friend and everything. So now I had to open up to a family member, to a loved one, and tell him, you know what, I'm going through this, it is weighing me heavily, so I need you to intercede with the heavens on my behalf. So there was that time where we prayed for each other, and it was the best, or one of the most beautiful moments in my life, and I will treasure it, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. So there was that session and everything. And I also remember where we also, not only we were just praying for each other, but we were also praying for our friends and our families in their respective places, praying for those people that we had promised that we'd pray for, but never did actually pray for them. You know, when you make those promises, I'll pray for you, friend, but then you do not pray for the person. So that was that time where we intercede with the heavens, where we wrestle with the heavens on other people's behalf. So that was a beautiful session. We gave praises to God. We thanked him for all the blessings that he showers us each and every day. We thank him for the gift of life, that we are still breathing. You know, we take, for too long, I feel like we've been taking this whole life thing for granted, in a sense that you wake up in the morning, you're like, hey, okay, sure, I'm awake, what's the plan for today? But now I feel like COVID-19 has kind of like reminded us, you know what, every Okanye has kind of forced us, not force, but made us to appreciate the gift of life and everything. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, Lord, I still have breath in me and everything, thank you for giving me yet another day. So that first Sabbath for me, it was a beautiful Sabbath where we were just praying as the family and everything, and it was a great Sabbath. And not only that, what made it so beautiful and a Sabbath I'll never forget and stuff is the fact that, you know, when I was really sitting and thinking about it that afternoon, when I was just chilling and just minding my own business, was the fact that, you know, COVID-19 unknowingly has reintroduced Christ in my family and everything, because family worship was kind of like put aside. You know, people would just pray in their little corners, that's it. You do your own morning devotion, your evening devotions, and there was no gathering together as the family at the table and just studying the Bible together and everything. So that is why, I'm saying that COVID-19 unknowingly has reintroduced Christ in our lives. It has reintroduced or resuscitated family worship, and it is something so beautiful, because it did not end there on Sabbath. Since that day, we collectively as the family took the decision that, you know what, let us revive family worship. Let's meet every day at the throne of Jesus at 7:30, and then we drew up a timetable about who's doing what, when, and everything. So it has been beautiful, I will not lie. Initially, I thought that this 21 days, it was just going to be me. I'm going to find a spot outside, you know, and just be alone and just unwind and just speak with the heavens, have a conversation with God, and just plead with him to heal my heart, and just, you know, and just try and deal with the loss and work on my healing and everything. So I thought, well, okay, I'm an introvert, so I'm gonna have time on my own and everything. But it was not the case. My cousins were just up on my face. They were just up on my face, and kidding. But it was, I've been enjoying this time spending with my cousins. They kind of like brought out the craziness out of me and everything, and I've been enjoying every moment of it. And I remember one of my friends was asking me, Ankantikan, as like, aren't you like, you know what, I'm done, I'm out and everything. But I was like, no, in actual fact we haven't. If you feel like, you know what, I'm tired of all the socializing and everything, you just chill alone and just sleep, you won't ask anything. So it has been great, I will not lie, and everything, every single day, you know, it's like you plan your day, but okay, I need to do this and stuff, and it's so hard to be like productive with them because we just want to chill together, we just want to chat, we just laugh and everything. And it's something I've really missed. I really missed and everything, because we grew up as cousins. We were raised by my grandmother, so we grew up in the same house. So I kind of like, I actually missed this. So I've been enjoying family time, we've been doing things together, and it has been great. It has been great. I will not lie and say there's a moment where I felt like I'm depressed. When are we opening and stuff? When are we going back to work? Honey, the day where I was just chilling and minding my own business and just I sat and I thought, like, number one, as I'd mentioned, that unknowingly COVID-19 has reintroduced God in our lives. Unknowingly, COVID-19 has made us to fully depend on God. It has allowed us to recognize, or it has reminded us of who God is, that He is the giver of life, He's the sustainer of life, and that He is the healer. And you know, it's so amazing how people are uniting in prayer and pleading with the heavens that God heals our land. So that's one thing I've been thinking about this other Sabbath and everything, when I was just minding my own business and everything. And I was like, you know what, this, I feel like, you know, I was looking at, you know, even when you go on social media and you check up what other people are busy and stuff, I was like, you know what, COVID-19, unknowingly, brother, what you have actually done is taken us back to basics. It's like you have given us the old-time religion of how things were, of how God would love, or how God wants, or do I say once, a Christian home to be like. I know others are like, Antidigua Sana, can we not change a location and everything? But it has given us that old-time religion and everything. Why I say that, the other time I was frustrated saying that my internet was really slow and everything. I was like, I need to change the password because everyone is connected to my, I've got like an unlimited Wi-Fi, so everyone is connected to it, and in the house we are around about 10. So I was like so frustrated because I needed to upload something, but it was just so slow. So I was like, and then for a moment I was like, you know what, one thing it has done, this whole internet thing, is that unknowingly it has forced us to be present. Ne? Because you know, when you're when you're in cell phone, everyone, when the elanders, or when the whole internet was just moving fast and everything, it was flowing and everything, everyone literally, when you would just, if you would take a drone and just come here, and everything, you'd see that everyone is just connected to their phones, they're minding their own businesses and stuff, and we're just not talking to each other. But because the internet is super slow and it is so frustrating, it was like, it kind of like forced us. But you have no choice, you need to be present. The only people now you can really converse is with your family and everything. So now, because of the slow internet and everything, you're present. Body, mind and soul is here. So that's one other thing that I feel like it is so beautiful, that, you know, at COVID-19 you thought evil unto us, but God intended it for our good. I think that's Genesis 50 verse 20. I'm kidding, I don't know, I think it's Genesis 50 verse 20. So I was also thinking the other day, you know, instead of us frustrating, because at some point, at first, I won't lie, at some point when the whole lockdown was starting, I was so frustrated, and every time I would watch the news and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is gonna come, Lord, let me not be part of the stats and everything. So, and thinking that I'll be stuck in the house, because one lie, at first I was like, hey, what a waste of 21 days, the things I would do during this lockdown and everything, if we were free to go wherever we wanted to go. But when I started shifting my focus, you know, because You know, change, as we all know, is not easy, and it becomes so difficult when you focus on the negative aspect of it. So if you just shift your focus and focus on the positive, like I had mentioned with you, it becomes bearable. It becomes okay, you know. And when I shifted my focus, I also limited my time watching the news. I'm not saying I do not go and check, update, okay, what's happening and everything, but I'm not so glued on the screen, go to, okay, what's happening, okay, how many deaths now and everything. No. So I kind of like limited my time that I spent watching the news and everything. So I kind of like shifted my focus. I'll go to, you know what, okay, sure, this is happening. You've got an opportunity to heal, opportunity to like breathe and everything, an opportunity to spend time with your family and all that. So I've been coping, guys. I have been coping. I will not lie. I've been coping. I am coping. So I was reminded, I know it might be like a kill and everything, but I thought of Jeremiah 29, the whole chapter and stuff, captivity in Babylon and everything, and God was like, you're gonna spend 70 years there and everything. After the 70 years are over, I'll come and fulfill my good promise to you. But then whilst you're still there, build houses, marry and everything, find peace in the land you have been, find peace in the land of captivity. So I thought of this verse and I kind of like linked it to now. So let us find peace, let us build houses. When I say build houses, try and do things and stuff, find ways to make the following 21 days or 20 days bearable for you. I will not tell you how to do it and everything, but focus on the positive, focus on the positive side and everything. And definitely when the 70 years are over, when this is all over, God will come and fulfill his great promise in our lives. We might not know when this whole thing is going to end and everything, but we know that he has greater plans for us, not to harm us, but to give us an expected end. So yeah, I hope that you're doing great. I know I'm gonna bore you, but I'm gonna say this thing. Please, guys, adhere to all the precautionary measures that have been put in place. Do stay at home. I know it is frustrating. It is frustrating. I mean, it's April, but just stay at home. Stay at home. We are our brother's keepers. So let us stay at home. Let us stay safe. Please do wash your hands, distancing and stuff, almost 1 meter and all that stuff, and drink lots of water, and try and stay healthy, vitamin C, kubone and everything. And yeah, I've been talking. I think I'm tired, but the devil might think evil by bringing this COVID to us. But uNkulunkulu uThixo uJesu has intended it for our good. He is in control, and this too shall pass. So hang in there. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. Inathi Mbulawa, umafaka uziqalekazi umthanda nonke emakhaya.